What's good? Okay, today's message is going to be a little bit different. First of all, the angle is different in terms of the aspect ratio. How do we like it? Do we prefer it up and down, like mobile view, or do we prefer it this view? Anyway, we're starting here. And then, secondary, so the message is I'm sharing a story, and it's a little bit like tender, and but your girl is faithful to deliver the message when the messages come. So there's this song called Godspeed, and if you've been around, shout out to all of our OG collective members, and also shout out to everybody that's new here. So glad you're here. Let's get right into the message. So if you're an OG, you know that I've sang, "Wishing you Godspeed, glory. There will be mountains you won't move." Okay, so it's originally by Frank Ocean, but it's also redone by, how am I going to not remember the guy that I'm actually here to talk about right now? James Blake, there it is. Okay, so James Blake does this really beautiful cover of Godspeed by Frank Ocean, and so here's the story. There was a time several years ago, I was married, I had one child, and I don't remember if I was pregnant yet with our second son. And I was doing what I always do, just getting ready, listening to music, and I had just gotten out of the shower, and this song came on, Godspeed, and it was the James Blake cover version. And it was one of those moments where, like, I looked at myself in the mirror, and all of a sudden, I was having this spiritual experience with Yeshua. I grew up in the Christian church. I've had the Holy Spirit since before I probably knew what it was called. I had this weird revelation of purpose since I was a little girl. I would like write it. You remember back in the bubble letter days, and it was my first tattoo, so like purpose. And I had my tongue, so a lot of people are asking, like, what is it when I'm channeling? And I say, it's like it's like downloading, and I'm getting messages it's like generating messages while I speak out loud, and then I translate them into English, which is why sometimes I can't remember words in English, because I'm like going from my original language, trying to translate into my second language, which is my first earth language, English. So anyway, all of a sudden, flashback. So I'm in the bathroom. I just got out of the shower. The song comes on. I look up. I meet my eyes in the mirror, and all of a sudden, I feel like Yeshua, that was like my greatest revelation at the time of the spirit. That was where my revelation was at. Like high self and that kind of verbiage was not something that I had been exposed to. So I'm in my bathroom, and I'm going to tell you. So it starts out with, "I will always love you, how I do. I let go of a prayer for you. It's a free world. The table is prepared for you." Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so I'm meeting myself in the mirror, and I'm hearing this as if it's being like sung to me by Yeshua, like a message to me. And the whole "I will always love you how I do. I let go of a prayer for you," like, and it might be just a sweet word, but I always thought it was like, it's a free world. That's what I thought it said. It's a free world. But maybe just a sweet word. I don't know which is the correct. I'm looking online at these lyrics, but who knows if they're correct or not. I always thought he said like, it's a free world. So it was like that whole. And by the way, it was not at all like not being protected in the see, okay, there we go. So like as soon as I have a moment where I'm reaching for the revelation, I go immediately into my divine language, and then I'm able to hear it. Okay, so let's get back there. What was I just saying? Let go of a prayer for you. It's a free world. Yeah, and it wasn't about it wasn't as if he was no longer going to protect me, or that I wasn't in his care anymore. It was that that controlling, possessive in a toxic kind of way, the way that a lot of religion, and I'm not saying all, by the way, I just can see it for what it is in a lot of the ways that this beautiful freedom of God has been manipulated into something so that people can control other people, and so that they can take credit for people's growth, take credit for people's expansion, control, be like, are you a member of this house, or are you a member of that house, like, you know, and now you have all these obligations. And there's, of course, every single one of these ideas has like the healthy version, and then the like little bit distorted off key version. Okay, so I'm just praying that the revelation will come through as I bring it, and I'm praying that the spirit of revelation would translate anything that my language is lacking for, to be able to reach you and produce illumination and understanding in the way that it's intended from the message from the spirit. Okay, so this whole like, I'll let go of a prayer of you. I felt like, you know, there's this blessing being released, and the table is prepared for you. And then, wishing you Godspeed, glory, there will be mountains you won't move. That part, it's always been like kind of conflicting, because it's like, but why? And at the time, little did I know, only, you know, less than a year out, probably a year and a half maybe, I would go through the craziest betrayal of my life with the person that I was married to, by the person I was married to, crazy identity theft, crazy lying, gaslighting, the emotional abuse, the, you know, all of that's in the excuse of addiction, but it is not an excuse to make those choices. Let's make that real clear. You can't just hide under like, this is the card that I'm playing, and then I'm going to do all of these devastating, betraying behaviors and just be like, wah, I don't have free will. Like, we all have free will. And I've known plenty of people that struggle with addiction that don't do that. Okay, so just like in the throes of evil, and being really devastated about it, right? And then this next part, so I've got to start at a part that I can. Table is prepared for you. Ooh, wishing you Godspeed, glory. There will be mountains you won't move. Still, I'll always be there for you. How I do. I let go of my claim on you. It's a free world. There it is. That's the part. I'll let go of my claim on you. It's a free world. And I remember that part. So remember, this is all like from the spirit being sung to me. I'll let go of my claim on you. It's a free world. And I remember being like, that meant something to me, but I didn't know yet what it meant. And it very much felt like that real love, kind of love, where it's like, I don't have to own you. I don't have to like be a title to you. I don't have to like, the love that I get is unconditional love. Like it's the truest version of unconditional love that we may or may not have ever experienced. It's like there was no conditions for this love. There was no requirements for this love. It's just like, I just love you like that, and I'm always going to be here for you how I do, but I'm letting go of my claim on you. It's a free world now. And I very much was like this reminder / announcement / activation / for me, what was about to be like a remember this kind of thing. Ugh. For what I was about to go through. And then the next line is, you look down on where you came from sometimes, but you'll always have this place to call home. Always. And it's like, it's hitting me while I'm reading it to realize just how significant this moment was. And I can't believe that I'm gonna go on the internet and cry and share it. Like, this is definitely not my idea of a good time, by the way. I was happy with hiding and hermiting. Okay, but anyway, so that devastation of realizing that there was so much like narcissism and toxic masculinity and toxic, like, I did not come prepared, like, with tissues for the level of emotions that I'm experiencing right now. And by the way, when I'm filming this, Venus just went into Aries, and so if that matters to you, then that matters, or, you know, if that means something to you, okay? So this whole, you look down on where you came from sometimes, but you'll always have this place to call home. Oh my gosh. What's significant about that is, like, just having to realize, I remember the spirit being so burdened, and, like, burdened as in, like, crushed with me, to have to show me, like, the way that religion is off a few notes. I don't know how exactly to say that. And, like, for me to have gotten to that point where I'm like, I cannot associate honestly with what's going down right now currently in the corporate church. And and I can't associate with it because they're not telling the whole story, and they're demonizing healing. They're demonizing a lot of healing. They're demonizing a lot of healing work, which makes me want to flip some tables. So for Yeshua to have given this message to me being like, I'm not claiming, you know, I'm let go of my claim on you. It's a free world, and you'll always have this place to call home. Like, you don't have to be in the club of religion in order to be loved by me. Jeez, this is emotional. I cannot believe this. I don't know if I'm going to post this. And yeah, there's some more lyrics if you want to listen to it or read it. But James Blake is the specific version that I'm speaking about. The cover is by the artist named James Blake, and that's the song. Like, that was what was playing when this moment happened. Okay. And so what's the message? That was the setup. And I think it's just this moment of speaking to us as a collective of divine revelation, or divine liberation. Divine liberation. Like, there's no, like, it's not a club. Like, it's not about the club. It's about you being loved and adored in your divine identity, and it being different than whatever any group think has ever has ever tried to say, like, this is the only way, and this is how it has to be, and this is what the doctrine is. And, like, yeah, we need justified, paid in full. Yeah, we of course, we have to organize information. We have to, like, identify some things for the sake of categorization, and for the sake of understanding who's who, and for the sake of identifying, like, are we the same? Are we on the same notes or not? You know, 1, 2, 3, as I just looked up. But at the same time, this idea of that we only listen to the guy on the stage in the place on Sunday mornings, I think those days are behind us. And I think they ought to be. Wow. And how do we know? How do we know who's who? Because of the fruits of the Spirit, like, that's developed in people. And they may or may not be associated with any religion, or even know, like, any of the background. Here's another thing I feel led to share. I was so devoted. Like, I'm going to hunt this all the way down. I'll hunt this all the way down. So I'm like following the thread through time, reading to the point where I was committed to learning Hebrew so that I could know what it actually said. And the fact that everything we talk about in our practice in culture, in Christian culture, is like, in the name, you know, it's through his name, in the name. And so then to come to find out, like, Jesus is not his name. Sound is what created this realm. So if sound matters to create things, why are we not saying his real name? Yeshua, Yahushua, Oshe. Like, none of those are hard to say. We could all figure out how to say any of those. So why what strategy, what manipulation, what happened that would make us come around to be saying the wrong name, a different name that's not this name at all? Like, why? They're like, oh, it's just the English translation. Guess what my name is? My name is Brittany, and in Spanish, my name is Brittany, and in Russian, my name is Brittany. My name is Brittany. My name does not change based on the language. I understand there's something maybe like, well, the pronunciation could change a little bit, let's see, what's a good one? George or Jorge. George or Jorge. That's based on like, you know, the letters in the translation. Okay, so that's one where is it like that? Is that what we're saying? Like that's what that is? That's like the translation. And then it still full circles back to like, if we now though have the revelation that sound is what moves atmospheres and programs atmospheres, why wouldn't we just adjust ourselves, and instead of adjusting the name according to a man-made language in order to accommodate? So, you know, that's one of those things like people, and what I came to learn is like you can chase down every thread in religion back to history, and so few of them actually matter. But what really matters in the here and the now is this, the fruit of the spirits: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. So I guess this moment and this like whole message is just to encourage you that playing small for the sake of a group of people in some sort of man-made like group is, if you feel like you can't be your full divine self, and I'm not talking about, okay, full circle back. The way that you'll know that it's your full divine self is that you have these acting through you. So like, for example, I'm not saying, this is not to say, remember back to that full circle thing where there's the healthy version and then there's like the distorted, manipulated off version. So this is not to be like, yeah, religion says I shouldn't, have intimacy before marriage, but I don't agree with that. And so therefore I'm going to, I want to go like sleep around all the time with anybody. Like, if that is not serving you, first of all, if that's coming out of a place of not being able to control yourself, and if that's not serving your body and your health, and if that's not serving you in terms of your emotional intelligence, if that's not serving you in terms of your mental peace, if your way of dealing with something, if it's like escapism or something that actually creates a negative impact overall in your life, then it's not what I'm talking about. Okay? But also, like, there are people who get married to the wrong person just because they're like, well, we're married, so we're going to check that box, and now we can do it without worrying about legalism. And but they're in a toxic, horrible marriage where there's no love and no intimacy and no affection. It's like, that's also not the thing, right? So we learn how to attune to that core soul frequency of real unconditional love. And that's why when Yeshua was coming through with this whole like, I'll always be here for you, how I let go of my claim on you, it's a free world. Like, he's like, I did what I did so that you could be you and that you could be free, not that you would then be forever held down by group think of religion or group think of anything. Like, the whole point is that all of us are supposed to shine in our unique divine identity, okay? And of course the Godspeed card came out in my shuffle earlier. It was facing up when all the others were facing down, so there's that. Is there anything else with this message? And I guess I'm also just here to tell you, like, there are mountains that aren't moved, and it's not because of a lack of the spirit's capacity, capability, or because you were wrong. There are some mountains that were not moved due to either their free will choice, like, because everybody has free will choices still, so people get to choose things, and also some mountains are just like, some mountains were in the way to redirect you to where you're supposed to be going. Woo! Okay? Some mountains, like I was being protected. my divine identity was now being honored and protected by pulling me out of a marriage that was not going to fully honor and support and be the container to be able to protect and hold and fulfill or allow for the fulfillment of my divine identity. Like, I came here to do something. That person knew that. He said he was going to support it. He said he was going to be all about it. And what's ironic about this, so there was a meme that was going around, you know, a meme, like an Instagram meme, and it's this girl kind of dancing near a fire, and it said something about along the lines of like, a real man, or some men are afraid of a woman's fire, but something about a real man will like support her fire and, you know, protect it and like help it grow and make her into burning fierce instead of trying to like keep her down. And the irony is that I was dating my ex-husband at that time, and he said something like, I'm going to make you into a bonfire, you know, and that was supposed to be in relationship to like being so supportive and being so loving and being there for me in a way where my divine identity would have space to bloom. Well, he wasn't kidding, because he literally blew up our life through his actions, and it set everything on fire, and it was like it was a bonfire, and I had to live through the wreckage, heal, take care of my kids, all of a sudden overnight, solo mom. Terrible. Like, terrible, terrible, terrible. I don't even like talking about it because it's like devastating. So the devastation was surely like as big as a bonfire ripping through everything. And so I guess in a way he kept his word on that front, but it was definitely not what I had in mind. And now I think back to that moment where, the let go of a prayer for you. It was just such a moment in the spirit that I had no idea like what it meant until later. Like, and I think about my high self. I think about Yeshua, and I think about like what it must have been like to know that I was about to be sent through that. And that probably was hard to watch by everybody involved. So, because I know how it was to watch my kids go through it. And it's like, you mess with my kids, okay? So, you know, but here's the thing, is that all through it, despite how difficult it was and despite all of the 3D things that were going wrong and were so devastating and exhausting, and it was like one bad thing after the other, like, despite all of that, like, in a way, we were protected, me and my children, and in a way, we were, like, guided, and in a way, it all worked out. And, segue into, this is when I realized all of the real, like, if the promises are exceedingly and abundantly far above anything I could ask, think, dream, or imagine, if the promises are, if the Son has set you free, surely you will be free indeed. And if you're not free, then I'm like, then that means that that's not it. So if you're not experienced that level of liberation, of divine joy and divine identity transformation, then there has to be more. There has to be more. And that is what pushed me into the journey of being like, okay, religion, you're not telling the whole story. I don't know if it's because you don't have the whole story. I don't know if it's because you don't want me to know the whole story, but I am about to go pursue the mystery just as instructed. That is my identity as a queen and a priestess. I'm going to go and pursue it and chase it down. And segue, introduction, this is how I found all of the life transformational tools that are not being taught in church in terms of like scripting, manifestation. Excuse me as I wipe my nose. I didn't come prepared. And it's like kind of like this conglomerate of combination of stuff that I learned over the past several years, and it transformed my life. It took us out of an impossible situation in the 3D and just made it work for me, made it work for us. Like impossible situations that just all of a sudden the way was made. And it required some cooperation from me. It wasn't just sitting back and going, God's going to do it. No, it required some intention, some discipline, some focus, some repetition, setting my minds on things above, choosing, getting specific about what I wanted. And so anyway, shameless plug segue into join the monthly workshops. It's called Alchemyze. It's only $11.11 a month. That price may increase at some point, but if you get in now, you will get to keep that grandfathered price. You'll be grandfathered in at that low price. So every single month there will be a workshop, a challenge, journaling prompts, a specific collective reading just for the group, and some other goodies to support you on your path. It's self-paced, but the challenges we're going to try and do all at the same time to make it fun. And it's going to be real life things that I learned from teachers like Neville Goddard, Joe Dispenza, of course rooted in the Word. That's my OG language. Florence Schivel, I don't know how to say her name. And then a lot of people that have learned from them, you know. And so I'm combining all of these transformative tools that I used in my real life to get me and my children out of a situation that was literally hopeless and there was no way. I don't know if I mentioned, like, anyway, I'm not getting into the story right now. I don't want to get into it any more than I already have. Just trust me when I tell you that it was bad and that it was impossible. We shared a business. The business was now not only underwater, but also all of the money that was supposed to be there was gambled away. So that was my income. I had a newborn baby, so I had very low personal income through my other business. My identity was stolen, and therefore my credit was now ruined. Credit that I'd spent years rebuilding, now gone overnight. It was hopeless. I was evicted by a family member for trying to support my husband while he pretended like he was going to get well for a few months. This all happened in August, September, in less than 6 months. So it's not like I had that much time. I was postpartum. I was being very heavily manipulated and gaslit and emotionally played with. The whole go to rehab, leave rehab, go to rehab, leave rehab, those kinds of things. So yeah, it was impossible. It was an impossible situation. So no matter what you're going through, trust me when I say there is a way out, and you do not have to know how it's going to go. You just have to choose it, align with it, set your frequency. Yeah, there's some strategy to this. There are some real life ways that you gotta tune to it. And that's what we're going to do through the monthly membership. And if you're somebody who's like, I need this right now and I'm willing to do whatever and I want to go deep, 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 there's some more work that you could do on a deeper, more committed level. And if you're interested in that, check out the Alchemyze Ascension Coaching Program. It's an 8-week intensive that also includes weekly sessions with me. Weekly group sessions where we'll discuss any questions. It comes with a workbook that I created, and it's all about uprooting the subconscious soil of the mind, like uprooting the roots systems that are in the subconscious soil of the mind. So like root systems that you don't even realize are there, uprooting those, tending to the nourishing your being, planting new seeds. There is like a depth here. There's a depth here. So depending on where you're at, what your investment availability is. If you're like, I don't have that much to invest, then get started with the monthly memberships and you can start manifesting money until you can do the bigger program. Or if you're ready to get started with the bigger program and you're like, I'm in and I have some money to invest, we can talk about it. Email me. We can do a payment plan if you need. Or if you're just like, no, I'm ready. I have the money and I'm ready to see my way out of magnetizing to these toxic people. Like that's a big one. That it reminds me of the scripture when Paul's like, I don't want to do what I want to do and I do what I don't want to do. Like that's a magnetization thing that needs to be addressed in the subconscious. And so if you find yourself repeating patterns with different people or repeating like seasons with different people or the same people, whatever, and you're like, this must stop. Like, then you have work to do in your subconscious, okay? So I had no idea that's where this was going to go. Hey, I just want to shout out, we have people in our collective here from the UK, Canada, Australia, Germany, India, South Africa, Netherlands, Ireland, Sweden, New Zealand, Poland, France, Greece, Israel, Iran, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Luxembourg, Nepal, Serbia, Singapore, Ukraine. There's more. If I shouted out your country, comment below. And also leave your name below if you're interested in me doing being input into the drawing for a specific reading at the end of the next video. Okay, I think that's it. Be blessed, be well, be free, and remember that you were set free to be free, not to remain stuck in any sort of structure of man. You were set free to be free for real. And I pray that you would feel it in your spirit what that means for you, and that you would not settle for anything less. Be blessed, be well, be free. Catch you on the next one. Okay, and as promised, I have pulled a reading specifically for one of our collective members who left their name in a former video in the comments. So if you're interested in being entered for a future video for a specific message for you, leave your name in the comments below. Today's message is for Pearl, and the card that I pulled for you, Pearl, is Manifest. So here is the card. It is so beautiful. It's like this, it's like a portal. And there you see the waxing moon, and then there's this gateway. It's interesting I said gateway. I was really thinking pathway. So hopefully you can see this beautiful card deck. It's from this Dream Ritual Oracle cards, and I'm going to read you a little bit of what it says. Qualities of this Manifest card are declare, believe, feel, upgrade, expect. The waxing moon phase, when the moon gradually moves from barely visible to fully visible in the night sky, is optimum for combining manifesting with your dream work. If you can dream about an event, object, or feeling and wake up feeling overjoyed because you have experienced it in the dream state, your unconscious believes in it, and from then on out, it is just a matter of time. You can relax and take positive steps in your waking life, safe in the knowledge that what you want to happen is possible and your dreams really can come true. And this, remember to look for even tiny bits of proof, because the reticular activating system, the RAS in our mind, is like programmable based on what we look for proof of in our life. And so this is something we're talking about in monthly membership this May. So every month there's going to be new topics that we're talking about, a new workshop that's specific to that month, a challenge, which we're doing speak what you wish to see. Speak what you seek, I think is what it's called. Speak what you seek. That's the challenge for this month, so more on that later. But if you're interested in being in the membership to learn all of these things, click on the link below. So anyway, your advice, Pearl, is that during the day, focus your thoughts and feelings on what you want to manifest, the happiness and the success you dream of. Write down what you want, make sure it's realistic and within the realm of possibility. I don't know about all that. I go for big dreams, but there is something to be said for make it so that your mind can actually get in alignment with it. So for example, if you want to jump from making 60 grand a year to over 300 grand a year, what is a number that you could really get on board with? Well, for example, if you're used to seeing $1,000 all the time, and that's a normal number for you, increase the frequency that you see that $1,000 coming through your account, instead of being like, I'm going to generate 10 million just, right now. That's something where it's like your mind has to be familiar with the idea. So it's like, I'm familiar with $1,000, so I'm going to attract $1,000 10 times in the month instead of twice, or 30 times in the month instead of 4 times. You know what I'm saying? So something like that. If thoughts about what you don't want surface, immediately divert them and upgrade to imagining what you do want to happen. Before you go to bed, write on a piece of paper what you wish to dream about achieving in your life goals. You want your dreams to show you how it feels to succeed and get what you desire. If you want, you can put that piece of paper under your pillow, and before sleeping, think about the success and the joy that you want. Picture yourself in a scene living that dream out. Like, there's something really powerful about putting it into a little movie scene where you see yourself experiencing it. So, and the mantra here is, if I can dream it, I can do it. So that's your message, Pearl, and I hope it resonates. And drop your name below if you'd like to be entered in a future videos drawing. Be blessed, be well, be free. Catch you on the next one. Thanks for being here. Just a reminder to subscribe to Seed, Soil, Water, Spa, the co-channel. And if you liked this video, then here is another video you might like.